Do you got a bucket, a drill, and some food scraps? Well, then you're just 20 minutes away from building a DIY worm bin that turns trash into garden treasure without the smell, the mess, or even needing a backyard. In this video, I'll show you step by step how to turn a 5-gallon bucket into a mini vermicomposting system perfect for kitchens, patios, kids, or garages. No fancy tools or fuss required. And if you love the idea of this, but aren't the DIY type, check out our website for pre-made 5-gallon kits. No muss, no fuss. All right, let's dig in and make the worm bin. Here's what you'll need. 2 food-safe 5-gallon buckets with lids, a drill with a 5/16 bit, shredded cardboard, peat moss, a few handfuls of worm compost, worm chow, and red wigglers. Step 1, we're going to drill about 6 to 8 5/16 holes into the bottom of our bin. We drill the hole so that leachate doesn't gather at the bottom of the bin, which could lead to a smelly bucket and even drown your worms. And drill some air holes in your lid. Step 2, we're going to take the bucket you just drilled holes into and place it into the second bucket. Now it's time to make this bin into a worm home. Worms like it cozy and damp, kind of like a forest floor. Here's how you make your worm bedding mix. First, you're going to need some shredded cardboard. Don't use the glossy cardboard like cereal boxes. You want to use boxes that come from shipping companies. Next, you're going to want peat moss to mix in with the cardboard. Now add water and mix until it feels like a damp sponge. You know that it's right when you squeeze it and 1 or 2 drops come out, but not anymore. Now you're going to fill the bucket about 1/3 of the way up with this mix. Now you're going to top it with a handful of worm castings. These castings are going to jumpstart the microbes in your bin. This next step is optional, but I like to add our specially formulated worm chow so that the worms have something to eat immediately. You can just sprinkle a little bit on top. It doesn't have to be the whole bag. And finally, the moment you've been waiting for, we're going to place our worms into the bin gently. I like to start with about 500 worms, which is about a half a pound. And I like red wigglers because they are fast decomposers. Now is the time that you can add some food scraps, but start out slow. I'm talking like 1 apple core. This is because the worms aren't used to their environment yet, and they're not in the mood to eat. Just kind of bury it underneath some of the cardboard and check back in a couple of days to see if they've eaten that. If they have, you can add more food. And now just cover it with the lid that we've drilled the air holes into. Now, healthy, happy worms can eat about half of their weight in food scraps per day once they're established in the bin. So you can feed them fruit scraps, vegetable scraps, ground up eggshells, and coffee grounds. You don't want to feed them meat, dairy, oily foods, onions, garlic, and only feed them citrus sparingly. If your bin starts to smell or your worms are trying to escape, you need to check out our troubleshooting video. And when you're ready to harvest your bin, we've got a great video on that as well. If you've got worm bin questions, drop them in the comments. We're pretty good about answering all of them. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and like for more worm and gardening tips.